What is going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today I've got another knife to go over with you guys from my buddy Big Bore Knife and Gear. This is the ADV Classic Butcher. So cool. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everyone. Okay, today we're going to be going over another knife that was sent to me by my great friend Scott over at Big Bore Knife and Gear. If you guys have not checked him out, you need to go to his webpage or his YouTube page right now and subscribe. He has got some great content. He is such a great member of this community here on YouTube. It's been very, very good to me, and I appreciate him very much. It is because of folks like him that I am able to bring you knives like this. This is the ADV Classic Butcher, and I think that the name speaks for itself. Great name for this knife, huh? It looks like a classic butcher. I love the name. The knife is so awesome. It's a mid-tech. I don't have a lot of chances to handle a bunch of mid-techs, but thanks to Scott, I've been able to handle a few here recently, and this is one of them, and one of the best. I have been able to carry this knife for the last few days, and this is right up my alley. Scott knows what I like. He knows what kind of knives kind of tickle my fancy, and he knew this one would, and yep, hit the nail on the head. Like I said, this one is a mid-tech, so it has some production parts, but for the most, but has a lot of handwork involved to make these knives. So very, very well made. Let's go over the materials that we are using right now. This is full titanium scales with an S35 VN blade. Got a little bit of glare going on, but you can see how the blade is. It's got this, almost looks bead blasted area, and then a satin in the fuller, and that really cool, see how they do that on the blade? That's rad. I really like that. I forgot what they call it whenever there's two materials that are put together to make one material here, one material on top. I can't remember what that's called, but it's made kind of to mimic that, and they did a good job. It really, really just makes this blade stand out. I absolutely love that. It runs on ceramic bearings, so the action on this guy is pretty perfect. You really can't, there is absolutely nothing to complain about the action. It fires out there like it's supposed to. The detent is great. It keeps the knife in, doesn't shake out. As soon as you pull down on that, boom, it goes. I think maybe if you kind of half-ass it like that, then you'll get it to not come out, but that's the way it is with most flippers. So the flipper tab on this one does have some jimping up here. I don't put my finger on there to do that, even though you can. I mean, I put my finger on top of it and then come down, and it comes out every single time like a dream. These titanium handles have kind of like a frag pattern that I am really liking. A lot of his designs are different. I don't know if I've seen one that's alike, which is why I mean these are mid-tech knives. He does such a great job. Mr. Andre de Villers is his name. ADV, that's what that stands for. There you can see Classic Butcher, and this is 2016. I don't think you can probably get a variant of this knife, but you can't get this exact knife. Look at that pocket clip. Whew, I'll tell you what, I've never had a pocket clip like this before. See how it has the, come on camera. See, it has the roller there. This thing is such a dream to get out of the pocket. It is amazing how much that little roller helps going in and out of your pocket. Angled down like this, where it's away from the lock bar, it works beautifully. It has this bronze color anodize on it, as well as the rest of the titanium scales. Has a bronze anodized pivot. Come on. And hardware. Come on. So, big old lanyard hole here for those who like that. It does have a steel lock bar. If we can get it, I don't know if we can see that anyway, but it has a steel lock bar behind the titanium scale to help lock up. This thing locks up rock solid, like everybody says, like a bank vault. So these things are hand tuned before they leave. Mr. Andre de Villers is a South African maker. And he has made a name for himself. I believe he's been making knives full time since like 1990. So he's got a lot of different models that I've seen on the internet. I haven't really seen one that looks the same as the other, and that's awesome to be able to have the knife maker that just goes out there and just makes these knives the way he wants to, and he's just got a great eye. And then, of course, I like big, beefy knives. This one definitely fits the bill there. And this freaking Wharncliffe blade, oh, I really, really dig this knife. I know why Scott picked this up, because I just almost can't put it down. And using this flipping action, it just makes me happy. Now, it's a big old knife, so you guys know I have big hands. So in my hand, this thing fits like a dream. Cannot complain about anything with the ergos. I can't feel the pocket clip, maybe just a tad bit right there, but I've got meaty hands, so pocket clips don't usually bother me because I've got little meaty hands. The jimping on this thing is done really well. Like, I love this kind of jimping. See if we can get this to focus here. Where it's, it's small, it's not sharp, but it's grippy. So great job on the jimping. You do have some kind of jimping in the scales here, which is a little bit sharper, but not bad. And then you have a textured grip, or I guess, I don't know if you can't really call that jimping, but it stands proud of the titanium scales. And it's also a little sharp, but helps you with grip, but it's not painful or anything like that. So really nicely done. I really can't get over how much I like this knife. It's one of those, like I said, just great action. The lock bar is easy to get out of the way. You don't have any lock stick whatsoever. You can kind of see there that it locks up pretty early, but it's very solid. And I know this knife, this knife has been around since 2016, and I really can't imagine it moving or being much shallower than that. So very well done. Let's go ahead and put this up against some of the other knives so you can get an idea how big this thing is. Here it is against the Paramilitary 2. Here it is against the PM3. As you can see, dwarfs both of the knives, both in blade length, width, overall length. So it is a big one. Kind of put it against another staple in the knife community. Let's see what it looks like against the Benchmade Griptilian. This is the full size. So as you can see, it dwarfs the Griptilian. And then a couple of other bigger knives. Here it is against the Spyderco Shaman. And here it is against another cleaver style blade. This is the Kaiser Sheepdog, rocking Big Bore Knife and Gear's badass anodization. Oh, so beautiful. But as you can see, it's a large knife. Now, I do have another cleaver style blade that is on the big side, and I want to just kind of put this up there. This is the Kaiser Sheepdog XL. So you can see how close it is to the XL. So it's pretty big. Definitely the XL's got it by just a little bit. Maybe, I think they're about the same as far as the length, but obviously the Kaiser Sheepdog XL is a much wider blade. Another knife that runs on bearings, another flipper. These things have great action, but you just really can't beat the action on this ADV. It's definitely once you get past that detent, a little bit of effort. You hear that click for the detent. It is tuned perfectly. Really, really, really like it. All right, some official specs on this guy. We've got a 9-inch overall knife. The blade length is about 3 inches, 875. You got a cutting edge of 3 inches and 3/4. A blade thickness of about 170 thousandths. So you've got a pretty good chunk of the S35 VN, and you can see that really cool look that it has with the fuller that goes all the way down. I love the way that looks. And the fuller can actually be used, because the flipping action on this guy is awesome, but I can put my middle finger down here in this groove and middle finger flick it, which, guys, if you know me, if I can do that with a knife and have a couple of different ways to open it, it just tickles my fancy even more. I love the fact that I can use the flipper tab or Spidey flick this thing out, as I call it, which makes this thing fidgety and is an A+ in my book. Let's see if we can get a measurement behind the edge on this guy. It's kind of hard to do this behind the camera. But as you can see, it's not the thinnest thing behind the edge. Wow, I don't even know if I can't see, yeah. It's probably around 25 to 30 thousandths. It's hard for me to get in there behind the camera. So it's definitely not very thin behind the edge. But boy, it does cut. Flat grinds here, and so it is very sharp. I'm not sure if anybody sharpened, or if Scott has sharpened this, or anybody has sharpened this after the fact. But it is razor sharp and cut through material like a dream. It's not a TRM Atom or a SOCOM Elite like we found out the other night. The SOCOM Elite is like 10 thousandths behind the edge. So no, it's not going to cut like that. But we buy these kind of knives, not because they're slicers. We buy these kind of knives because we enjoy them. This is obviously a heavy knife. Let's go ahead and get a weight on this dude. 7.5, so nearly 7.5 ounces. So yeah, it's not a light knife. It's not a EDC friendly, just throw it in your basketball shorts and go to church or go wherever you're going. So we buy these kind of knives because we like overbuilt, badass looking, just sweet knives, and that's exactly what this is. Mid-tech, so a lot of handwork goes involved on the grinds, on the sharpening, hand tuned, and it just. It's one of those situations where I get it now. I was able to buy my own what I call mid-tech. This is a Medford 187, and so this is my personal knife. And since I've been carrying this around, I get it. Then you have things like this full custom, which you saw in the review the other day, that just rock my world on the stability, the craftsmanship that goes into some of these knives. That's why we buy them. It's not everybody gets it. Everybody's like, well, why would you pay that much for a knife? This knife right here, I have no idea what it cost. I would imagine it's about $700. So I know a lot of people don't get it, but if you're a knife guy and you like knives, and I'm assuming that you're on my channel just for that purpose, and you don't have to get it. This thing is just awesome. It does function very, very well. Goes in and out of the pocket very well with that pocket clip. I kind of wish a lot more people would do this kind of pocket clip. I really enjoyed that. That little, I know that some have like a ceramic ball or a steel ball bearing, but on this roller, that's pretty sweet. I haven't seen that before, and I am digging that a lot. But anyways, guys, this is about it. This is my overview of the ADV Classic Butcher. I love the name. It fits this knife so wonderfully. Fits my hand well, and it's just one of those knives that I would love to have in the collection, just to bust out. I mean, when I was carrying this at work and I busted this thing out, everybody's head turned. It was like, whoa, what is that? And I like that. You know, call me what you will. That makes me happy whenever things like that happen. So anyways, guys, thanks again to Scott at Big Bore Knife and Gear for allowing me to handle this knife and of the many other knives that you've seen on the channel. I wouldn't be able to do it without him. I really appreciate it, guys. If you like this kind of stuff, hit the notification or hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I do giveaways every month, so you want to make sure that you stay tuned for that. I've got a lot more coming, a lot more knives from Scott that came in that I'm going to review. A couple of new unboxings that we did, and so anyways, guys, be safe out there, and we will see you in the next